I'm seeing something right now.
I have a cartoon prop here.
Yes.
I thought about this and I was like, the most messy shit that happens is because I'm neurotic. And so I'll create messy, insane scenarios like walking around at midnight in New York trying to find a funnel so I can make chicken wings. You know what I mean? Like,
what?
This is a real thing. I was like, I have to eat chicken wings tonight and I have to make them myself. I went to the kitchen area of Macy's looking for a fucking funnel. I went to like a hardware store. I'm like, I'm like 7 layers deep in my own hell right now. And this is impossible to explain.
And you just want to make some 7-layer wings.
And I'm just exactly. Yes, 1 layer per hell level. Okay, so this is this insane prop that I have. It's very stupid. Thank you, Adam.
That is
very
the biggest. Kind. This is the biggest prop anybody's ever brought.
I'm flying this to Edinburgh. This is the hero car.
That's gonna need it.
So just so you know, it's for children.
It's time to get wild.
That was wild.
Welcome to That Was Wild. I'm Adam Macias, and this episode is going to be wild. I am so excited for today's guest. We're joined by the amazing and talented Woody Fu. He's got a show in Fringe this year called One-Man John Wick. It's an action-packed, one-man, hilarious tour de force of a comedy show that y'all should check out. We talk about his show, his inspiration, what makes his life a little messy, which includes a prop for the show that he brings into the studio. Plus, you might recognize Woody because he's been in a million things. He's a hilarious character actor. Most recently, he was in the movie Companion, which, if you haven't seen yet, go check it out. It's an awesome movie, and he actually explains the spoiler in the movie, so you would recognize him. And we talk about that, plus all of his other gigs, and all the good stuff, and how he got that role. This is a great episode. But speaking of John Wick and Keanu Reeves, this episode, we focus on an amazing dog named King Charles that has taken over the internet. And I would like to think of him as the Keanu Reeves of dogs. He's essentially the alpha of all the dogs, at least according to his TikTok channel. So we dive deep into that. But before we get on the show, just want to do a quick plug for my show, Macias. That's right, I got a prop myself. It's about my dysfunctional family and how I grew up in, instead of a Wonder Years household, I grew up in a WWE household. Now it's filled with lots of fun stories, songs, and it's playing in the Hollywood Fringe Festival until June 29th, which happens to be my sober birthday. I'm recording this the day after my second show, and y'all, it's been amazing. The shows have been so good. It's warmed my heart. The second show tweaked it a little bit, made it a little bit better, which included costumes, by the way, added costumes. The second show was even better than the first, and the first one was amazing. So I got 4 more shows, and if I'm on this trajectory, it's only gonna get more and more better. So if you live in LA, you don't want to miss it. And yeah, LA is crazy right now, but fuck ICE and fuck fascists. The best way to do that is have some joy in your life and come to a comedy show. Actually, well, no, I take that back. Do some protesting, okay? And then, if you got some free time, come to a comedy show. So if you want to laugh about the things happening in the world, come to my show, Messy Ass, and laugh at me while I make fun of my messy ass life. So without further ado, let's talk to Woody Fu about his show, One-Man John Wick, and the Keanu Reeves of dogs. All right, let's get wild.
Trying to get viral famous. Haktua.
Was my muse. What was her names? There was the one before Haktua's. I was John Fauci's muse. No, not John Fauci's muse. What was her name? God damn it.
John Fauci's muse?
Not John Fauci's. I was the director of God damn it. This would be very funny.
Just imagine this really
What was the Adam Sandler's movie about gems?
Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems. That's what I'm thinking of. Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Haktua. Spit on that thing.
Yeah.
Uncut Gems.
Sea shanties. Remember those? just listing random viral trends from the last 15 years.
Exactly.
Vine was a thing.
Tom from MySpace. Anyways, yes, thank you again for coming on. So we kind of relax and chill into this, and we'll kind of go into this.
I know I said this off camera, but this space is dope.
Oh, thanks, man.
This space is dope.
Thank you.
I mean, it's very funny because it's like Wayne's World adjacent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I try.
Also, I'm pretty pretty sure this is the guy who trained Russell Crowe in Gladiator, if I'm not mistaken.
That's him. We got it painted.
Right.
Yeah,
And this is Russell Crowe, obviously.
Russell Crowe.
This
Never
thin
smiles.
guitar, amazing.
Yeah. This is Russell Crowe. We distilled him.
This is all of this is just your podcast is actually originally was a Russell Crowe tribute podcast.
I try to have a Wayne's World vibe, mainly because it's very self-produced. Also, what's her name? Tia
Carrere. Yep.
Tia Carrere. Love her. Amazing. First crush.
Really?
Yeah.
This will show you how old I am. I think my first crush was from Wonder Years, Kevin Arnold's older sister.
Oh, yeah.
She was like a hippie flower girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, God,
get it.
I
And then
don't know.
Lucy, obviously, right?
Lucy.
Wasn't that his girlfriend in...
Winnie.
Winnie.
Winnie Cooper, yes.
Gotta love Winnie Cooper.
I liked Winnie, but she was a little too like, I was like, she's too much of a goody two shoes. I was like, his hippie older sister is like dangerous and living on the edge.
Yeah. Love it. So you've always been a bit of a bad boy. Is that what you're saying?
No, honestly, it was because I am such a goody two shoes and play by the rules that like, I was like, a relationship with Winnie Cooper would not work out. And I need someone who's a little more, actually, it's funny saying this out loud because my partner actually is more adjacent to Kevin Arnold's older sister in that she is a little more hippie-ish and a little bit more like less predictable.
And you kind of have a hippie shirt going on too, so maybe you're trying to you're trying to vibe out that way.
Yes, it's the LA influence. I burned my New York black uniform and then put on a colorful shirt.
Yeah. Speaking of a hippie influence, you ever dabble in any of that stuff? Do some hippie stuff?
I had a big weed
psychedelics?
phase in college, and then there was one semester where I was high the entire semester. Nice. And then it was kind of fun because like me and my friend, the RA, hilariously, would get high and then go to...
RA.
Yeah, the RA.
All right, guys. RAs, they're not doing shit, guys. They're just here to get some free rent. I think that's what they, right? They get like a little bit of free rent.
They get paid to like nominally take care of stuff. But it's like a 19-year-old babysitting an 18-year-old.
They got 1 ounce of power and they use that to buy an ounce of weed. Yeah, that's what they
exactly.
did.
They translate directly ounce to ounce on the open market.
Yeah. So
we would get high and then we would go on WESU, shout out to Wesleyan, get on the radio and then play music at like 5 a.m. because the station was off basically.
Nice.
But I stopped because I was like, oh, I don't remember the last 4 months. You know what I mean? Like I do not. It just flew by.
Oh yeah, that's a quintessential college experience, man.
Well, that and like. The first time I ever ate pot was in college, and that's like 18 hours just like gone.
I had a pot brownie one time, and I slept for 26 hours. I woke up the next day late to my shift.
Were you still high?
And I was still high.
Yes, that's what it is.
I worked at 7 p.m. the next day, and I got called I worked at 6 p.m. and I got called at 7 p.m. They're like, Adam, where are you?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm high from my pot brownie from 11 p.m. the last day.
People don't understand. Like, when I was in college and we made pot brownies or whatever, like we would bake it into the thing, and we had no idea what the hell we were doing.
Y'all, you're very lucky right now. Y'all.
Generation Z and Alpha, listen up.
I remember the person smiling at me, just like, be careful with this. And I was like, okay, sure. And they're like, seriously, we don't know how much we put in there. I was like, okay. And then yeah. When you make the brownie too delicious, that's the problem.
Well, okay, there's a couple things. One is because like before that experience, you're like, oh, my relationship with brownies is that they are delicious and don't blow my mind to smithereens. So I'll just eat a brownie.
Yeah.
And it's totally harmless. And then of course you're ingesting 100% of the weed.
Yeah.
But it's also that like now when there's like gummies, I'm like, I'm going to like cut off a 16th of this and nibble it. You know, I don't trust any of it anymore.
You know what I think it is actually? I think millennials popularized.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Popularized. Nope. I'll go back
Lost
to that
it.
one.
Had it, lost
it. But they made it popular. Did it, and then put it on the internet because they were able to spread the information out more because we were able to like spread it out. Whereas like a fewer people in like the Boomer Gen X generation had to like, you know, it was more word of mouth. You know, they weren't able to like disseminate the, you know, like the recipes out so much.
Right.
But we were able to like almost become foodies along with it, and we like really were like the bunny rabbit experimentations for it.
Yeah.
And that's why we have stories where we got fucked up. And Gen Alpha is just like, oh yeah, they have gummy bears. They have all the science. They get to benefit from our, like, we were the baby dolphins.
We stumbled so that they could run. Yeah. They're like, why don't you just look it up on Wikipedia? Or easier than that, watch this TikTok guy explain to you how to make it and then the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not even just walk into a store and pay for the one where you're like, I just want to be a little bit high. And the guy's like, okay, we have 7 varieties for that.
Yeah, they get the gummy bears and we got to sleep with, our stuffed animals for way too long. But speaking of sleeping, don't sleep on this man. We are welcome to the show. That was wild. I'm Adam Macias, and we are going to get freaking wild today. I'm joined by an amazing performer, actor, comedian. This guy's all over the place. It's Woody freaking Fu, everybody.
God. Hey, sorry, couldn't hear you. I was too busy Supermaning that. Thank you, God. What a welcome. What an intro. Jesus.
I'm gonna intro you a little bit more.
Oh my God.
I got some special stuff for you right now. First off, you're one of the guys. I love doing this. Whenever I see friends of mine in like TV shows, I like to text them and like be like, send them a screenshot. You're one of those people I had to stop because I see you so. I think you're whoever books you,
for sure.
You is like booking the TV shows that I watch or something like that. Your agent is like millennial 38-year-old guy.
Well, thank you. That's very, very kind. It's honestly funny because I had like a big run and then this year's nothing.
But that's because you're focusing on a show that's in Fringe right now and was debuted last year on Fringe.
Yes.
And then has since toured all over the place. It is One-Man John Wick.
Yes.
Check out the credits on this. It's Best of Fest Toronto Sketch Fest, sold out SF Sketch Fest, winner of Best of Asylum, winner of Hollywood Fringe Exchange, Fringe Italia, nominee Hollywood Fringe Award for Comedy, nominee Adelaide Fringe Exchange Award. Good God. This guy's all over the freaking place. And then check out the IMDb on this guy. He was in Girls 5 Eva, Nora from Queens, The Other Two, and most recently, when I saw it on a plane, Companion, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Yes, I have been all those things. I'm a weird character actor. I fulfill a very specific function for everyone's story, for as many stories as I can book.
Yeah, I mean, after No Good Deed, I had seen you in a few, and I think it was the last one. I was like, all right, I have to fucking stop texting this guy. It's too many. Like, I just don't want to be like, our text thread is just me, like, screenshots of you.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the equivalent
I have
of
to be like, how are you doing? And eventually,
it's the equivalent of like when you text someone happy birthday and you realize the last 5 are just happy birthday, thanks, happy birthday, thanks.
When you go to if you ever go to, speaking of millennials, somebody's Facebook page and they don't post it all, but it's just people's being like, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's like no one uses it for anything
You're
else.
just like, oh, this is just spam now. I see. It's just a spam wall.
But yeah, man, it was really cool seeing you in Companion because that movie was bad fucking ass.
Yes,
and you kind of explained the whole point of the movie there.
Yes, I explained the rules.
Yeah.
Gotta explain the rules.
That was pretty rad.
So that the protagonist and the audience understand what's going on.
That's pretty rad.
Thank you. Yes, that was I don't know if you do like, if people care about like biz casting chat.
No, let's hear it. Yeah,
I talked to the director at the premiere of that and he was like, yeah, I cast you because you did one thing that no one else did in this in your audition. But basically, I don't want to spoil it too much, but basically,
we can say it's out on Rent, right? We can say, let's just say, spoiler, skip ahead for like maybe 2 minutes.
Yes.
And if you don't want to be spoiled.
But the premise of the movie is an artificial companion. So it's like a robot woman who designs, feels, looks, experiences as things as real.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of a tech guy who like kind of like explains how the functionality of the robot. And so the director was like, you're the only person who, there's a line at the end of it that I say, which is, she's yours to do whatever you want with.
Yes.
And he's like, you're the only person who was not like hubba creepy on it.
Yeah.
You were the only person who like talked about her as if she was like an iPhone, which is like the whole point of how he saw the whole point of the movie. And I'm yeah, great. That's like, so it's funny because I was like, to me, I was like, oh yeah, like that makes total sense. But now I'm just imagining like dozens of auditions where it's like,
could do whatever you want. But your line was so much more striking that way because you took the humanity away from it and it implied it. Because I had thought like the words implied it themselves. it didn't need to have that emotion to it, which I think that was like, I think that's what maybe the director said was like, it's too like maybe like the director.
It's a hat on a hat. You don't need too much.
You didn't need it. It was just like no, like you're already there. Yeah, it was already like being applied in the movie story wise. It's like you can do whatever you want with it. Like I don't know. It was
the words. The words do a lot of the work.
Yeah,
and so to like put an extra like sleaze on it is too much.
Yeah. And that's what you wouldn't do that. Get that from the corporation coldness. Was the scariest part of that, you know, and so I think that's why it was awesome.
Yeah,
you really crushed it, man.
Thanks,
it was fucking awesome.
Thank you.
And yes, and then I wanted to say this. Do you think the rehearsals stole the premise from their whole show from your scenes from the other two? Do you think that's? Oh. Do you think that's?
It's funny. Yes, because that whole so I'm in the other two, and there's a whole the conceit is that there's a fake Applebee's built in a studio, right? So that their famous mom can experience a normal dinner.
Yeah.
Right, and there's rumors that like Tom Cruise has done this, right? That like he has like
and Michael Jackson
and in order to like experience normalcy.
Oh no, it's not even a rumor. That's like I think they filmed that. Like, oh look at me, I'm going to the grocery store. I'm shopping.
Really?
I think that's like a real thing they filmed. I think
that's so crazy. That is. I mean that is
that's fucking wild. Yeah.
But yes, it is. I think those two things. You know what? I've noticed this is that in my auditions, I've noticed a spike in like behind the scenes production characters.
Yeah.
So they want people like, okay, we want you to play a second AD. We want you to play a whatever, like a grip or whatever, and like. I love doing that because I love like improvising lines from set where I'm like, like moments away. Okay, like quiet and set, whatever.
Check the gate.
Gate is good. Okay, moving on.
Yeah. But which is also something you do. You film stuff sometimes too.
I do.
Right? Yeah.
I do. But I think it is because like culturally we're all more aware of how things are made, and like things like the other two in the rehearsal really like magnify that. And so there's a lot more like things being produced now where like the joke is how it is made as opposed like the studio, for example.
Oh yeah.
Like explicitly about like how the sausage is made as opposed to the sausage itself.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I was looking down your IMDb and I was like, oh yeah, he was in the rehearsal, and I was like, wait, he wasn't in the rehearsal. But it's very much like vibes of the rehearsal. And I was like, yeah, but it's you have an awesome. I mean, literally, whoever's booking you is like has my watch list is in my algorithm. I feel like.
Thank you.
You have great taste.
Shout out to CESD and Authentic.
Yes, but let's talk about your show real quick. One-Man John Wick, so fucking fun.
Oh, thank you.
I was very fortunate.
Yes, Adam filmed it.
Yeah, filmed it last year. And I was like one of those gigs where I like. Got to enjoy what I was like filming on, like it was fucking sick.
I do love that.
Isn't that the best? Yeah, you experienced that.
I filmed a lot of shows, and sometimes I'm like, this is just work, and sometimes I'm like, oh, this is good.
Yeah,
and I'm like watching it two ways.
But it's such a fun show. Why don't you tell us about it a little bit?
Yes, great. So I started this as a UCB bit back in New York. I was on Characters Welcome, which is basically what Betty is now. It's a characters team.
Yeah.
And I had this character for Keanu in mind because I was like, okay, he's a funny, weird, contradictory thing because he is nicest guy in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? Like famously, like the whole thing with like he shows his receipts when he takes photos with like female fans, or like he'll like he was like stranded on a flight and like drove like a bus or something with a bunch of the people. There's many stories online about how he's incredibly nice and donates his money and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's his public persona. And then, but then in his movies, in John Wick movies, he just like kills hundreds of people, mass murderer.
Yeah.
And they're insanely violent. And that's part of the fun of them. But it's like, that contradiction is like, oh, that's a weird, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who
He's
else.
working something out.
Yeah. There's something there. And I don't know if any other actor necessarily like, we don't think about it.
Yeah.
There's a cognitive dissonance where we don't even like, it's weird that he's so nice, but he's like murdering people in insane ways here.
It makes me think it's like because Vin Diesel famously is kind of a dick off screen too. And he's kind of is also kind of a dick on screen too. So it's like,
right. So he's just a dick.
He's just a dick. So what's going on with Keanu, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. And I was like, all right, how do I write that into a comedic bit? And it was like, the whole thing was like, you're on the set of John Wick and he's Keanu and he's talking to you and he's really nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, like, let me let me get you a seltzer. Like, oh, this is for you. Can I get you a glass? Like,
Yeah.
he's really, really nice to everyone. And then once you call action, he's just like, just mowing dudes down.
Yeah.
That was the original bit. And so last year when I came to Hollywood, when I submitted for Hollywood Fringe, I was like, oh, I wonder if I can expand this into a full length show. This is because I had been to Edinburgh Fringe recently.
Oh.
And I saw a bunch of shows that were very, very, very inspired. And have you ever been to Edinburgh before?
No.
Oh,
I'm like aiming to be like a last minute submission for
You
this
must.
year. Yeah.
One must.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna dork out for a second.
Yeah.
I love the reason I love Edinburgh is because it's theater festival, right? But
Right.
it's the biggest in the world, and you can see every kind of show. You can see the most dog shit ass productions you've ever seen, but you'll also see like the most sublime, like holy fuck, that is genius.
That's awesome.
Type stuff. And I saw like a month of shows, and at the end of it, I was like, what do I remember? I remember like 3 moments. I don't even remember shows, jokes, whatever. I just remember like theatrical moments, visuals, and that's what resonated. And then
can you say something?
Okay, so yes. One thing I really fell in love with at Edinburgh was like theater magic. Like, how can you create an idea
Yes.
on using just 6 things?
Yes.
So like there's 6, everyone who's on stage has 6, the same democratic 6 things available to them to make something, to make a show, to make a theater show. That is 1, your own self, your body and your voice, your own actual body, self, or cast, whatever. 2 is lights, 3 is sound, 4 is video, 5 is props, and 6 is audience.
Mm-hmm.
There's also 7, I guess, if you want to count like a rotating stage or something. But like in general, everybody has those
6
things to start with.
Yeah.
And the shows are just like, what do you do with those 6 things? Like, you could have $1 million or you can have $30, but like you have access to all the same things that anyone else does.
Right.
And I found that really, really cool. So that when I started doing this show, I was like, okay, what do I remember? What are some magic tricks? So the magic trick I remember from my first year at Edinburgh was there was this show where these guys are like, the setup is that they're on a boat and they're supposed to be like paddling through the river at night.
Yeah.
And so they had like a cardboard box that they sit in, and it's just like creating like a frame around them, and they're just like miming that. And then around them is like black garbage bags, like all taped together. So it's like a big rectangle of garbage bags around them. And there's 4 cast members on holding the corners, and they're just like, foom,
Yeah.
foom, foom.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
love
like
that shit.
ocean wave.
I love that stuff.
And I'm like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
Like this is magic, and I'm like,
Yeah.
good. This is good.
So good. I love that stuff.
That's what I want. That's why I was like, that's a lot of the impetus behind the show is like, how can I create like theatrically fun moments like that?
Punk rock, low budget theater is kind of like what I loved about theater. I was in a theater group called Circle Squared, where we were based off of moment work, which was essentially like, essentially improv, but for theater, you know?
Yeah.
Like just find a prop and like just create something off of this. But it was just like very much like, here's a sheet and we're going to just do this sort of thing.
Yeah. How can one thing become another thing?
Yeah. And I'm not sure if the Laramie Project was based off of moment work.
I don't know the Laramie Project.
It's the story of Matthew Shepard and stuff like that, who was, it's not a happy story, but it's probably their biggest story that happened as the Tectonic Theater Company. They kind of created this thing, but it's based off of like storytelling, but then almost documentary style. But it's very much movement based, prop based sort of stuff. But some of my first experiences with theater was just like stuff that you can just literally like stuff you can do out of nothing. You know, I love the magic stuff as well. Like literally something you could see on stage and you're not expecting it, but it just changes your whole perspective of it. Like showing a projector that like all of a sudden it's it's the screen, but now we're actually making it a spotlight sort of thing. Like just like, just reframing what you think is going to be there. That's why I love the live experience so much more than like a theater or a movie experience, because you get to feel it in the room. There's that same thing kind of with improv, same thing with stand-up. That's why I think like, say what you will about, crowd work videos. It captures those moments of like, you had to be there. And that's the thing that is still so magical about theater in general. And even stand-up and stuff like that, it's still like, that'll never go away. And it's what I love. I've always loved about
Totally.
it.
And I think also that is the crowd work stuff I love also because it is the stuff that is not planned.
Yeah.
for example, there's a lot of Edinburgh like clown shows that are like all audience.
Yeah.
And so the shows are always different every
Yeah,
night. But then there's other ones that are like more kind of structured audience. So like, do you know Morgan J?
Oh yeah.
So he does a ton of audience stuff.
Totally.
And a lot of those are like kind of games, but a lot of it is him just being super present to like what's happening and
Yeah.
responding. And like he is protected because of the auto-tune stuff works so well.
Yeah.
But like he can get away with like so much because of that protection.
Totally. The music part totally helps because people just music and you rhymed a little bit, or like we're talking about sex. Like I'm already uncomfortability, tension. People, that totally helps.
You just need like, I feel like what's great about theater is that you just need some kind of like conceit.
Yes.
Some kind of creative conceit. And if people buy into it, then it allows them to behave differently. It allows them to be more playful, less like guarded, less like, are you going to try to like humiliate me right now? I don't want to participate. It's like, if you can create that conceit and like, come on in, I won't make fun of you and it's actually fun.
Yeah.
Then people, that's the best part, I think, of like live performance.
I love that about your show. You have lots of fun parts of come on in your show. Lots of fun parts. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but the paddles, is that still in the show?
Yeah, paddle's still in the show.
Paddle's still in the show. Can you talk about that real quick?
Yes, there's a bit where as I'm teaching, basically the show, I'm Keanu and then the audience is like members of the crew.
Yes.
Right? So like they each have a different job. So one of the jobs is line producer and their job is they just hold up a paddle that says no. So like literally I'm just sort of like, oh, you're a line producer. Like, are we on budget? Because that's your job. And they're just like, no. And you're like, oh yeah, you're doing your job. We're not on budget. Like, it's a very, but it's like, it's just someone being like, oh, okay.
They have no other job besides no.
I don't have to do this, and I'm playing a game, and now I'm not at risk because this is what we all understand. This is what I'm reacting to.
They're not forced to say no. They're not forced to say yes. They're not forced to come up with any words. It's just like, this is what the paddle says. It's not my choice. It's really good.
I actually did prep with That Was Wild story because I did this show. So when I did the show at Toronto, I had 2 nights, and the first night was everyone in the audience was comedians, so they were very good, like participatory.
Oh yeah,
And the second night was all civilians. And that was a crazy show because everyone did something wrong.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? So like one of the bits in the show is that I make someone, I'm like, oh, you're my stunt double. And to like kind of get them on the same page to build rapport, I like do this game where I'm just sort of like, that my favorite food of all time is, and they'll be like, like cheeseburgers. And I'll be like, that's right, because I don't care about calorie intake or whatever.
Yeah.
There's one dude on the second night where I was like, my stunt double, my favorite food of all time is, and I look at him and he's got like total deer in headlights. He has no idea what to say. And he goes, dog.
Oh no.
And then the entire room is like,
oh God.
And it was like this huge, like, whoa, fuck moment.
Yeah.
Like what's going to happen? And then I was like, okay. So then I like turned back to him, like, I was like, okay, first of all, my friend here is brown. He was like a brown guy. I was like, so he gets a pass. Like he gets a lifetime pass. Don't worry. He's also of the marginalized and downtrodden. So like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so first of all, you get a pass.
It wasn't a white guy that said that, guys.
Yeah.
So let's just be clear.
So number one, that is taken care of. Number one, just everyone just chill out. And then I was like, number 2, and I look at the guy, I'm like, I do think you have some unconscious biases you need to work out. And I was like, but also,
so first off, he's not racist. Secondly, okay, maybe a little.
Yeah,
racist.
but also maybe he is a little bit. Maybe he's like 2% low fat racist. And I was like, but also third of all, I love eating dog.
Great.
So like,
yes,
it was a crazy.
You
moment.
addressed it. That was brilliant way. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Because you like addressed it enough. You addressed the thing we were all thinking there. That's great. Oh my God, I would have shit my fucking pants, dude.
It is a wild moment. I always forget.
Do you move on? But you can't.
You can't.
Because I think you do that. I think there was maybe a moment when I had watched it, was just like, and I think I really had valued it too, where you did address it and you handled it. It was inspiring, I think too. It's that shared experience. Just fucking say it.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna release the tension.
Yeah. If you can release the tension, everyone feels taken care of.
Yeah.
If you don't, then it's just like, oh well, I feel uncomfortable, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I always forget every time I do the show. I'm like, remember, you have no idea what they're going to say.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I built the show this way, because I'm taking it to Edinburgh and I don't want it to be the same robot thing every single night.
That's awesome, man.
But awesome. I always forget that like, it can truly be whatever they say in that moment is what it is. You know what I mean?
Truly crazy. That's freaking wild. But speaking of wild, to rebrand with my show, Macias, we are switching the show to be somewhat related to messy stories and about Messy's life. And I'm asking you today, is there anything messy in your life that you recently cleaned up that you maybe want to talk about? I'm seeing something right now.
I have a cartoon prop here.
Yes, yeah.
I thought about this and I was like, well, honestly, the most messy shit that happens is because I'm neurotic and over controlling. And so I'll create messy, insane. I'll find myself in insane scenarios like walking around at midnight in New York trying to find a funnel so I can make chicken wings. You know what I mean? Like,
what?
This is a real thing. This is before the air fryer. I was like, I have to eat chicken wings tonight and I have to make them myself. That is an example of like, oh, I'm in a hell of my own design.
Okay.
So,
all right.
This happens with less frequency now, but it still does happen because I get worked up about stuff. So,
So you're not a fan of Uber Eats. I'm just so confused by that decision.
Honestly, the chicken wing thing, it became a principal thing.
Okay.
I was like, it was like 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to find it now.
Okay. But you're like dead set.
But I did buy these wings. They're probably in my fridge. They probably like had to be made by tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I had the oil,
Yes.
but I was like, once the oil's there, I got to be able to like.
And then somebody was like, "You'll
it
never
out.
make it tonight." You're like, "I'll show you." Like
Yeah.
it's somebody like. Yeah.
I like went to Macy's. I went to the kitchen area of Macy's looking for a fucking funnel. I went to like a hardware store. Anyway, that's like, I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I'm like 7 layers deep in my own hell right now. And
Yeah.
like, this is impossible to explain.
And you just want to make some 7-layer wings.
And I'm
That's
just
all.
exactly. Yes, 1 layer per hell level.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is this insane prop that I have. It's very stupid. Thank you, Adam. This
That is
very
the biggest.
kind.
This is the biggest prop anybody's ever brought.
This I'm
to
going.
the
I'm
show.
I'm flying this to Edinburgh. This is the hero car.
No way. How? Okay. That's gonna need it.
So just so you know, it's for children.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I would hope so.
So the deal with this is I have the way the show begins is that I ride in on it on a toy car. It's very stupid. The first iteration of this car, I have iterated this and this is the final form of it.
Okay.
The first iteration was I was walking in Glendale with my girlfriend and someone had discarded their car on the side, like a toy car for their kid on the side. It was
Right.
to be picked up by the trash. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this. And I do this regularly because my parents are immigrants and I'm a hoarder. And my partner was like, ew, bad. And I was like, no, I have an idea. I'm going to use this for the show. I have a vision for it. And she's like, okay, fine. So then I got that and I spray painted it and that was my car for the show.
Right.
Right.
Wasn't it red or something like that?
It was red. And
Yeah.
then that was another version.
Okay.
But yes, I used that
There's
for many
been
years.
multiple cars. Okay.
So that worked. And then I did this show for IO Fest last year.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I don't want to fly with this thing to Chicago. So I basically bought it on Amazon and have it shipped over.
There. Yeah.
Right.
Classic
So
move.
right
Yeah.
before the show, I'm putting the whole thing together. And I'm like, I guess every time I do this show now, I have to spend $30 to make this idiotic. It's just a sunk cost of the show. And so I take it on stage, and within the first 2 seconds, immediately, like
Brakes.
the wheel just snaps off, spirals away. I'm like, okay, that's garbage.
Which is the beginning of John Wick 2, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. It's the beginning of John Wick 2. And I had to buy a horse on Amazon also.
Yeah.
So that was the second one. Then the third time I did it for Austin Sketch Fest, I sourced it from the community. So I'm like, okay, great. No money spent. Perfect.
And that one ended up being fine?
That one it was like a big pink,
Okay.
It was like a very silly car, but I was like, great. That's the perfect scenario.
Great.
Fourth time, I went for San Francisco Sketch Fest. My nephew lives in Belmont, and I was like, I had to buy it off of someone on Facebook Marketplace and have my nephew. I had to remotely coordinate my nephew going to go pick it up and like pay. And I had to prepay.
How old is your nephew?
My nephew's like 20.
Okay.
Okay, but it was still like,
That'd be funny. He's like a 10-year-old nephew. I got you, uncle.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
problem.
Where am I?
He's riding a smaller
Yeah.
car to pick up a bigger
He's
car.
like hitching it to the back of his. So that was
His tricycle.
that became the hero car, and I
Okay.
spray painted that one black.
Right.
And then that one was what I was using. So that one, the wheel axle broke because guess what? I'm a human adult male and it's intended for children.
Yes.
So I was like, God, I'm taking this show to Edinburgh. I can't have a car that's going to break
Yeah.
like if it breaks, I'm fucked.
Right.
So I was like, I need a diesel. So I did a deep dive into like stacked, built, like thick
For kid
thick
cars.
type cars. Yeah.
You're like a big boy.
Big boy. Yeah. For husky children. I need to find a husky children size
children car.
toys car. And then I found this.
Okay. Right.
This is official BMW merch.
Oh, okay. So this
This
is like fully German made.
Yes, this is
German
German.
engineered.
This is World War II German tank engineering, like fully on display.
Okay.
And you can feel it. It's like this is substantive.
Oh, yeah. This is. I was gonna say this. The way you were handling it, this is mighty.
This is
mighty.
This is like Mjolnir. Like this is. I was like, okay, great. So, but it took me a while to get to this because I saw it online and I saw a video like the BMW like sizzle video for this.
Right.
And it's like your children deserve like this amazing vehicle. And then
Those children does. Okay.
Yeah. And so in the video, the lights light up. The front lights actually light up.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's a cool theater moment.
Because then you can have the light kind of shine from the side there. Yeah.
I'm like, you entrance. It has like a hero entrance. Like it's a cool moment.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I found this on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, this begins the journey of the baby racer.
This is the one you wanted, and you started at a discount
because they
rate.
cost $165 new.
Okay.
$165. I'm like, that's insane. I can't spend that. So
okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Just saying this is going to be an investment.
This took like 4 months.
Fair. Okay.
So I went to Pasadena, met up with an Asian woman. For some reason, it's always Asian. And then they had this, and the lights. This is and I was like, oh, the lights work. And I opened up the battery compartment on the bottom, covered in rust.
Oh.
And this black seat lifted off, and it was covered in black mold.
Oh.
But because I drove to Pasadena,
find out the kid's no longer.
Yeah, the kid.
What happened to the kid? That's what I want to know.
The kid died of like the
car crash.
Yeah, unrelated car crash. Very tragic. So then I still bought it for $20.
All right.
Because I was so worked up in this frenzy.
You still bought it?
I bought it.
$20.
I was like, $20 maybe. I brought it back. My girlfriend's, there's no way you're bringing that into the house. I'm like, sure, logical, absolutely. You were right, I'm wrong. So then,
black mold infested car for $20. Yes. Okay, it's kind of a steal.
That, by the way, so this is iteration number 5 so far.
Okay.
So then I looked up on Facebook Marketplace. I found 3 people that had it for cheap, and then they all ghosted me over the course of 2 weeks.
Oh.
And then I found another baby racer in Arcadia.
Oh.
This person also Asian, strangely.
Okay.
This one's for $80. And I messaged them. I'm like, do the lights work? And they're like, the lights don't turn on. And I'm like, this idiot. They just never knew that that's not a function. I'm like, okay, fine. I drive to Arcadia, spend $80, take it home.
Did you take your $20 car to drive to Arcadia? Or?
Yeah, I was on the 101 giving my butt black mold. And I was like, it's worth it. It's worth it. This is viral marketing. So I bought the $80 one back to Arcadia, but I brought it home. And it turns out, I find out that not all of them have the light that lights up.
Oh.
So I have one that's just sitting there and it's fine, but the whole thing, I'm like, it has got to be the light. And I'm like, I'm so deep invested in this. I have to get the fucking one with the light.
Okay.
So finally, I found another one in Long Beach for $50. So far I've been to Pasadena, Arcadia, and Long Beach for this fucker.
Okay.
And this one I got, and that's this one.
That's this one. That's okay. And this is the $50 one.
This is the $50
Long Beach.
one. So just so we know, so far I have cumulatively spent $205 on this one.
On this model.
On a new one is $165.
Yeah, no, I was doing the math in my head. I was gonna.
But what I also found out is that this is one of the weird pre-release ones where the lights do work. So not all of them work.
The lights do work.
Yes, that's what I found out. So like, can you turn the lights off for 1 second?
Yeah. Let me get it. Yeah.
Watch, it doesn't work right now, and this whole thing is.
You haven't tested it yet. Did you? Wait, did you
I
pick this up today?
No.
Okay.
This is going to be the car.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Lights are off.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Hell yeah! Look at that! Look at that bad boy!
Look how dinky this shit looks.
Yeah, that's your camera right there.
That's the hero shot right there.
Lift that up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
So this fucking that
$250.
that is the mess that I find myself in, where I'm just sort
And
of
that's
like,
not even including gas.
Yeah, no, of course. And also like there's a mental cost that can never truly be paid.
Your time and energy. Yeah.
They're like, you are exchanging.
Oh, wait, make sure you turn the lights off. I don't want you to waste your batteries.
It doesn't turn off. You got to wait for it to turn off.
Right.
But okay, so this
worth it?
I mean,
have you ran it?
Honestly, I won't know until I do it in the room and someone goes, "That's funny." You know what I mean? Like that's
for
the
one joke. Yeah.
For one person to audibly be like, "Huh."
It will be worth it though. Sometimes it is worth it. I do understand that though. I do get that.
I'm in a tunnel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just digging a tunnel for 5 miles and being like, this idea is going to pay off.
Yes.
It's going to be worth it.
I totally get
Wait
that.
till I unveil this shit.
Nope. And people are telling you no the whole way through. I get it though. I kind of get it though. Because
have you committed to a bit in this way before?
There's a song that in my show where I was just like, people kind of told me to cut, or the scene that they told me to cut, and I was just like, no, I think this is it.
Yeah.
I feel like this is good. I have a vision for it.
Yeah.
I have a vision for it. And I just kept working it. And I'm like, I showed it to my wife and she's like, all right, that's pretty fucking good. And
so it was validated.
I think I was like, no, I think it needs to be in the show. And so when it comes out, I think people are going to be really fucking happy about it. Yeah.
Because especially when you're doing Fringe and it's a solo show, there's so many mini decisions that you're privately making that basically come down to, am I willing to invest in myself?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's creatively, that's marketing, that's like, am I going to spend an extra $10 on whatever? Like you're making hundreds of those decisions.
100%. And it's like not one of those things where I'm like, it's also one of those things where like, I don't have a lot of time to like, I've fortunately been able to workshop the show a little bit here and there, but it's not like I'm like a touring person where I can like rock it over here, rock it over there, like doing this thing. And also I want to like have a level of surprise for the few people that I know, like that are going to see it. Like
you unveil like large chunks of it at once.
Yeah. You know, and I want to be able to like surprise, here it is. And I want them to be like, whoa, you're like legitimately surprised. So the few people I've shown, I'm just like, okay, cool. Like they liked it. So,
but that, I mean, it's it feels so validating when in fact it does hit.
Yeah.
Cause you're like, oh, I fucking knew it from 3 months ago that this would work.
Actually, I guess I could talk about it since this show is aired. The show has premiered.
Yes, sure.
So I could talk about it. So I have this bit where the original part of it was I used to work with my dad as a landscaper. And one day he would just leave, and I would just be working with the contractors who were mostly Hispanic and speak Spanish, and I didn't speak Spanish, but I would just listen to them cuss all the time, and so they would teach me how to speak Spanish by just cussing. And the scene was really just kind of this like slower scene where they would just joke, being like, "Oh, okay, how do you say this?" And it would be like, chinga, like they would just teach me how to say things, but they would be wrong. It was like kind of fun, but it was long. And I was just like, whoa, all right, how do I can keep this on time. What if I turned it into a musical?
Yeah.
And then like, no, everyone was like dead silent about it. It's like, no, just cut it. They were just like, cut it. You don't need it. And I was like, no, I want it though. Like, this is like kind of like low key. This was the original idea for the show, was that I wanted to make a show where actually I was playing my dad landscaping. Like I kind of, that was the original idea of like, I was more of a character the whole time. And I was like, okay, I need this in the show. And so
you're like, this house doesn't work, but what if I built a city around it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if I made it bigger and better? Yeah. So I was like, I've worked on it. And so it eventually turned into a musical number where he's teaching me how to swear the whole time. I end up making it a kind of this fun dance number where I get to embrace my culture in like a fun way and being a surprise.
But even then, like, so are you investing in like learning the dance?
Yeah, I'm learning because I also, because I went to music school at Cal State LA. They have a big Afro-Latin program. So I kind of like tapping into that, which is fun. Well, so I'm learning, like, I'm like remembering that stuff. So I'm like, all right, no, I'm going to write this fucking song. And I'm going to like, I come back from a vacation where I didn't have the song written. Like I was expecting to have the show done before I went on vacation. And I'm like, okay, I think it's done, but it's 20 minutes too long.
Yeah.
And
just by a hair.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like, I have to cut it somewhere. And I'm like, cut this segment. I was like, no, I want this segment. So what if I made it a 5-minute song instead of a 10-minute scene? So it's like, okay, like I'll keep it on time if it's on beat, right? And so I was just thinking about how to do that while I was on vacation. Now I'm back on vacation. Oh shit. Now I actually have to do it.
Right.
Like I was like, I got this now on vacation. Anyways, I'm investing in like writing the beat down and like kind of like learning. You have to do the history of like what banda music is to really feel it and all the shit.
And no one's making you do this, to be clear. Like I
can still cut it technically as of right now. I can still cut this
You are
song.
constantly yes-anding yourself into this idiotic idea every step of the way.
Exactly. But I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's going to pay off. And ultimately, even in this podcast, I might cut this segment too. So.
Well, but ultimately you'll know when maybe one person goes, "Oh, that's good."
Yeah, exactly. But so I know what you mean. Like,
but this is okay. This is the other side of this, because like I've seen. Did you see Weir, Natalie's show?
No, not yet. No.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is like super inspiring. But like, there's props in it that are so elaborate,
Oh yeah.
that are massively elaborate. Like the scale is insane. There's so many like prop reveals that are huge and like furniture level in size
Nice.
that she had to like bring to Edinburgh to
Oh.
recreate it from Elysian. And so like you're watching that and you're like, oh wow, all this stuff just began as an idea of wouldn't it be funny if?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then she just followed that idea and didn't like she allowed it to grow to be physicalized and be on stage and like take up a moment in the show. And it's like cumulatively the effect on the audience is like, wow, this is vision. Like it took vision to create this insane world on stage with all this very inconvenient number of props.
Yes. But just to go back to your show, loved your show last year. I'm excited to see it this year.
Thank you.
For anybody that's listening that hasn't bought tickets to see One-Man John Wick, it is, I would say, one of the most entertaining one-man shows I've seen in a long time. It's action. Yeah. Fucking dab it up. It's a hilarious and legitimately action-packed. Like, legitimately action-packed.
That's very kind. I want to say two things. First of all, number one, thank you. Three things. Number two, you can use a discount code if anyone's watching this. The discount code is Daisy. That's half off for tickets for Daisy. That's the name of the dog in John Wick.
Yeah.
And this is related to the reinvesting thing. There's a new like mini action segment that I put in here where I was like, I when I was in New York, I met up with a fight choreographer.
Oh.
And I was like, I want to try to, as much as possible, recreate this like gun fu vibe of John Wick.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like I want to do this moment. I want to do a bit. All the action in the show is comedic, but I was like, I want one that like is a little bit more in the world of John Wick, a little more impressive, a little more like, oh, this is less funny and more like, oh, he's going through a very specific sequence of actions where he's like fighting a bunch of dudes or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's a new thing.
Yeah.
That's in the show that I'm excited
And
about.
you're actually at like a impressive theater with an impressive lighting rig, I should say.
This is at Broadwater.
Broadwater.
Although I try to keep it relatively simple.
Okay.
Just because otherwise
Tech
it
is going to be
takes
hard.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But speaking of Daisy and dogs, there's something
yes.
I want to talk to you
Yeah,
about
yeah.
today. Speaking of
Dog content.
dog
For
content,
the dog freaks.
listen, there's people, there's stuff online that's getting pretty crazy. But I discovered a dog that's kind of like you spoke about Keanu having like this kind of this very interesting, peaceful personality off stage. I found like the Keanu of dogs. Have you heard of King Charles the dog?
No, I have
Yes.
not.
It's an interesting situation. Let's take a look at it real quick. King Charles is you'll notice who the alpha is when he comes up. Okay, so we're seeing some dogs kind of barking at each other.
That's the black dog is it King Charles? Or
No,
that's-
this-
Oh, okay.
Well, this dog's just entering the chat. Dominates immediately.
Get down, little bitch.
Just comes in immediately, tells him
Oh
to
my
sit
God.
down. They have a whole channel just for this dog. which
This
makes-
specific King Charles dog.
this one dog
Mm-hmm.
here, who they call King, I guess, or King Charles or something.
Oh, King Charles is a name, not the breed.
Yeah, not the
Got it.
breed.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. And it's some sort of dog, I don't know, sanctuary or I don't know what. To be honest, it seems a little.
But this is the
fucking
most
shady.
alpha of the dogs in the sanctuary.
And this dog. So they're all like chaos and stuff. But then this dog just comes over and see if you can see,
Oh yeah, yeah,
it just lays down and it instantly calms the rest of the dogs.
yeah.
It's
It's the ultimate big dog
yeah.
coming in and big dogging everyone.
And so what's happening is that people are creating lore for this freaking dog. And there's this channel now that's just like, look how dominating he is and stuff like that. To the point now where like people are doing backstories for this dog.
Yard. Most people assume age earned him the crown, that he must have been around the longest. But let me set the record straight. King Charles was born on November 11th,
Like we get the birthday now?
2021. That makes him just 3 years and 6 months old today. Not the oldest, not the loudest, not even the fastest. But still.
So we're getting like he's the runt of the litter. Like what is he running for president?
Right, it's an underdog story.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my God. so funny
King
because
Charles, the underdog story. Literally.
when you first sent me this video, I was like, this is backstage at UCB. You know what I mean? This is like the green room. Everyone's like nervously like, so what are you working on? Oh, what are you auditioning
then
with?
Lou
And then-
Wilson comes in. He just comes in. He's like, oh, everybody's like,
yeah,
chill out.
just like whatever the biggest name on that show that night happens to be comes in, and everyone like the whole gravity of the room just is like,
yeah.
whatever you say is
what
the
is-
funniest. you
Yeah,
know?
Brendan Mulligan comes in. He's like, "What's up, guys?" He's like, "Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
like-
no, yeah, cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool."
yeah. It's like, and this is a real thing. Like, and I've been in this situation so many times when like the most famous or funniest or whatever person comes
Yeah.
in, and like they are genuinely funny, but like half the time they'll just be like, "No, water's fine," and people are like, "Yeah, it is fine. Water's we'll get you water. That's really funny."
I actually didn't think of it that way, but yeah, like people do treat it like it is that. Like we are all showing our belly in that situation.
For sure.
I have a story of like that in my show where like I was in a Zoom call with other billionaires
Mhm.
and Elon Musk enters the chat and these other billionaires are literally like, "Oh my God, you're the best. You're the fucking best." And they're like all sucking his dick pretty
Right,
much.
right,
Be like,
right.
"You're the freaking best. You're so smart. You should be in charge of government efficiency." Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like literally like
Americans don't need Medicare.
like literally, yeah, like it was so crazy to see if like this guy who's, the toughest man in Hollywood, supposedly, they mean like, oh, Elon Musk comes on the chat and she's like, "You saved democracy with buying Twitter." Blah, 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 blah. Like,
Yeah.
geez, what the hell is happening? guys?
Every single like social cohort has that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's so funny because the values of that are so specific to that cohort. It's like, because even like as production dudes, like people who are camera people we're not like cool. But like, if you get a bunch of camera people, they're like, "What glass you on?"
Yeah.
You know, like it becomes this like, oh, like they have
Yeah,
the best gear. They have, you know what I mean? They've been on the coolest sets.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're what every single social environment has this kind of thing where it's like, oh, everything paused. Like the most powerful thing has entered the room now.
Totally. So I'm just wondering what about this dog is so powerful, Like
Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people are like, because that's
Got
what
Riz.
is
Dog's got Riz.
the dog's got Riz. Dog. But like that's what a lot of people are positing in these videos. It's like what's so fascinating is like this dog looks very homely. It's like it looks like Rin Tin
Yes.
Tin back in the day.
It looks kind of haggard. Like,
Yeah.
It's like
it's been around.
there's other dogs that are like, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's like this like shiny black dog.
Yes.
Seems very alpha, feels like very like has a lot of power.
yeah.
But like, or other dogs that are even like, I don't know, they just seem more muscular or they
Yes.
seem bigger or they seem like,
Yeah.
you attribute the things that you would think would make it an alpha dog.
But this is just like a nice kind of like fluffy, powerful, like fluffy kind of like, the dog you would probably, a rich person would have, honestly. It's not like a street dog,
No.
Like a bunch of street rat dogs are fighting and then this kind of like, almost like the cops show up. I don't know.
But it's funny because he shows up and he just kind of like lazily karates the dog down.
yeah, just
He's just like, it's like that jujitsu move where it's like you take their energy and just like,
yeah. Who's the guy who's friends with Vladimir Putin now?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, the karate guy that's like
Topical. Keep it spicy. I got
Keep it
more hot
spicy.
takes.
Who was the karate guy back in the 90s?
Oh, Steven Seagal.
He's like the Steven
this is-
Seagal.
I do have to say this. Someone sent me a picture of Steven Seagal like on CNN or whatever or on Fox, and they were like, Steven Seagal now looks like a racist stereotype of a Chinese person because he wears like
Yeah.
these like tinted glasses. His
Yeah.
hair and his facial hair is fucking insane. He
face-
wears like a cheapo.
Yeah,
And I was like, what, dude? What happened to you?
I guess he's kind of achieved what he wanted, right? Because
He
he's always
has.
been aping the culture, right?
Yes, he's achieved as close to it as he physically
Yeah.
can, as he biologically can.
Yes, but there's a little bit more drama here. Can I
Oh, for King Charles?
for
Yeah.
King Charles? Just a little bit more drama. So here's the messy part of it. A new dog has entered the chat, and this dog,
Mhm.
his name is Titan,
Mhm.
and they're not getting along.
Tyrant and King Charles
Tyrant.
used to fight a lot. They didn't like each other and always wanted to be the boss. But in this moment, something changed. They sniffed.
This is what I'm saying. People are like
Yeah.
treating it like a reality TV show. This is crazy.
It's so easy to like project onto this dog because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if King Charles is the protagonist, then Tyrant is like the recurring bad guy of the season.
Yes,
you know
yes,
what
yes,
I mean?
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, who he just entered. He thinks he is in charge.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he beat up our main guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's never happened before.
Yeah, what happened was King Charles had to run away when Tyrant backed up. He's like,
Yes,
we're all invested,
Yeah.
you know?
this is like any Netflix or prestige drama.
Yeah,
this is like
seriously.
Peaky Blinders season 3.
I mean, showrunners wish they could be creating content like this, you know? This guy's making millions of dollars, I
mean, it is insane. It does appear like they are in a Mad Max, like post-apocalyptic, like, you know, parking garage or something.
This is the content we want these days. This is what I'm telling you. So any suggestions as someone who has lived in the mind of a Keanu Reeves type of person? Any suggestions for King Charles to handle Tyrant?
Oh, that's a great question. Because I can only filter what I would do, which is like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But also, I've never been in this situation. I've never.
You've never lived in a dog yard?
I've never lived in a dog yard. Well, I have for 7 years, but that's unrelated.
Interesting.
I've never been cool, calm, and collected. Is what I mean. I've never like, okay, let me just like calmly evaluate, you know, and like just.
You've never been like the new kid of the school or anything, or have you?
I've always been pure anxiety. And even if I was in the UK, even in the situations where I should feel confident, I'm always anxiety. So like, it's always foreign to me when like, this. I feel like here's the thing. I feel like sometimes I do come off like, oh, Woody's very calm and like he has his shit together and he's very capable.
Yes.
And like, I do like to think I am capable, but I also know that like, I'm always like inside. It's like, fuck.
I find the people that come off as calm, cool, and collected are the ones that are literally rattling inside.
Yeah.
Because I come off as calm and collected sometimes, and people tell me, and I'm just like, that's crazy because I'm like a bundle of fucking nerves. And the same thing with my wife. I find out like, you know, like she seems super chill to me, and like I find out like, oh, she has crazy anxiety issues. We're all just bottling it up.
Yeah.
There's the people there that are like, I have anxiety. It's like, well, shut up. We all do.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's what I think. That's what King Charles is saying.
For sure.
It's like, shut. That's what I think it is. It's like King Charles. They're all yapping like, I'm anxious. He's like, shut up. Yeah, I am too.
Get over it.
Get over it. That's what
it's true. It's also the anxiety. I think, yes, you're right. Everyone has anxiety, but also number 2, it's like, how does it manifest? And like, for me, it's like spending 4 months getting this. You know what I mean? This is like this is a physical calcification. This is like a Horcrux of my anxiety, you know? So,
yes.
In the same way that it's like King Charles could easily be like super anxious on the inside, but then just comes out and be like, what is the quickest way to end this nonsense?
Right.
Like, this dog go down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he has so much anxiety, he knows how to pinpoint it the best, maybe, or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or maybe he's lived with it so long. Maybe he meditates a lot and he's really at one with it. And he's like, this is actually just a thought I'm having. It's not reality.
Yeah, maybe somebody told him to cut some song about swearing swearing on a landscaping field, and he's just like, no, you go down.
Yeah. His dog wife was like, I think you're better off just cutting it. It's like, no, you don't hear it like I hear it. I feel like it could work.
Somebody was just like, no, it's impossible for you to be making chicken wings this late at night.
Yeah, you're like, is it?
I'm going to be doing it.
This is the greatest city in the world? The city that never sleeps? We'll find out if I can find a fucking funnel.
Yeah, I don't think we're projecting.
No, of course not.
Of course not.
This is what we're saying is literal truth.
Yeah, we got
King
this.
Charles.
Well, I think we solved it for sure. Shout out to King Charles.
Shout out to King Charles.
Good luck out there, and good luck, Tyrant. I hope you guys solve whatever doggy issues. And look out for some great content. Woody, let's do our last segment here.
Okay.
Where we play a little game called the Wild Wheel, where I'm going to ask you to spin this, and it's going to land on a game. And I'll explain that game when we get there. Okay. Give it a mighty spin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice give.
Wildflowers. Ooh,
Wildflowers.
I'm so excited for this. Okay, so I had a friend of mine send me a story recently. It's supposedly a wild story. What I would like to do is invite you to listen to it with me, and we're going to give this person their flowers and compliment them for whatever happens in this story.
Right. I knew what that meant because I'm 22 years old.
Yeah. Flowers. Give them their flowers.
Sure. I wasn't like, you mean go to 1-800-flowers.com and order a beautiful bouquet?
Yeah, exactly. Also that, which is, will be a sponsor one day, hopefully. Okay, here we go. This one, all right. So hopefully this isn't too long, but we'll pause it as we go. Here we go.
So I like to call it the homeless depot.
Okay, so right off the bat, homeless depot. Apparently, this person works at Home Depot. Calls it the homeless depot.
Because every now and then we'll get specific characters that walk into the store.
Specific.
So
Okay.
one
This all feels coded so far.
and I don't know why, but every time when someone comes in with a bicycle, there's always something about to happen.
People walk into Home Depot.
They wheel in their bicycle.
Wheel in the bicycle. Interesting. Okay.
But that's a big red flag.
Yeah.
So we had one guy come in with a bike all the way over to my department, which I work at, is the paint department. He stands there while I'm finishing an order. And once I finish, I ask what's up. And he takes his helmet off.
Hey, he was wearing a helmet.
Yep.
Safety is important.
Even inside the Home Depot.
Even if he's homeless, he's worried about his cranium. That's good.
With this weird tape on it. And he says, I'm trying to, patch tape on it.
On the helmet.
I thought, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Fair.
So what do you need? And then he says, I just need some tape. Like, okay. So I just give him the tape that I have for the store in case of like projects and stuff.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay,
Some free tape.
Okay. And that's the end of the story. It's very normal.
Very normal,
Very
free
normal
story.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
He, I guess,
Oh, there's more.
looks at the helmet for a good while for some weird reason. So then he puts the tape on it, but then it falls off. I thought, okay.
Interesting.
And
It
now
didn't
it
stick.
Doesn't sound like good tape.
Yeah. Or the helmet is made out of grease.
looks like he's creeping some of the customers. So like a
Oh.
lot of them are like,
Sure.
Probably pretty hard to do with a bike in hand.
Yeah.
Creep.
Yeah. It's got the playing card in the spokes.
It's got a rookie play.
So then I call the manager on duty, and he came over. He talked to the guy for about 5-10 minutes or so. And he comes to me and says, well, he's not really harming anybody, unfortunately.
We
So I
prefer that
can't
he were.
Yeah. Wait. Okay.
kick him out due to annoyance. So we're just gonna have to wait till he's done, and you can send him off.
Okay.
Okay.
It feels almost Seinfeldian, where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, I'm just kind of annoyed, and therefore I wish he would not be here.
Yeah.
In case of anything, just call me again. Like, alright. About like 10-15 minutes go by, and a cashier actually walks by, and she comes up to me, and she said, that guy over there, his pants is on the floor.
Oh,
I thought, what the heck? So I go
I thought, what the heck?
What the heck, indeed? What the H.E. Calvin Klein is going on over here?
around the desk, and yeah, his pants are at his ankles,
Okay.
where you can see his junk
His junk.
on full display.
All right.
So then I thought, all right, well, I think that
Well,
definitely
what are you doing with your hands right now?
He's working through a cardiac event.
can
happening live.
Get him out of here. So I go over to the MOD. I tell him, because he's about to do a closing meeting. I tell him, hey, remember that guy?
Hey. Hey.
I wish I had a job where I could do that to my coworkers. Just be like, hey,
Hey. Hey, don't forget about that
Hey.
homeless guy. This
very-
guy's yanking over
It's
here.
very cash.
On the floor now. And he said, what? So he goes over to the paint area while I talk to a few others about what's going on. And then I go over back, and they're gone.
The
I'm thinking,
pants?
where did the guy go?
Or the guy?
And I look over, and he's at customer service now, thinking, what the heck? How did he...
With the H.E.
Was he
Calvin
supposed to
Klein.
get kicked out? And so the MOD said, I don't know what he's doing. I told him to get out. At least his pants is back on.
Okay, my first reaction to this is that I used to work at a record store in the East Village in New York called Turntable Lab,
Okay.
and I would open up the shop. It was in East Village, and more than once I got there and I had to like lift the gate up, and in front of the gate on the floor on the street of New York was like a steaming human turd. And I had to be like,
Jeez.
I have to
You have to clean it
I
up.
have to clean it up.
Yeah.
I am responsible for cleaning this up because I can't just let it be smeared into the ground or like. And that was just.
Was there like a hose available or something?
No, it's also even worse. It was like you had to go down the steps into the store, so it's like I couldn't hose it off because it would just go specifically into the store.
Oh God.
So I had to like create like it's like a doggy bag situation, just like you know what I mean. But I am familiar.
Yeah.
With this kind of situation.
It's unfortunate, you know. They walk into the your place of work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these some of them are unwell, some of them are not. There's plenty of homeless people that we don't notice.
Mm-hmm.
These are just the ones we do notice. So we have to be, you know, mindful of that. There's plenty of invisible homeless people that we know that we don't see every day.
That's true.
The ones that we do see, we see.
Mm-hmm.
They make very, you know, they make it very well known. And that one was so I guess the flowers I would like to give to this person, the compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing your truth.
They're very chill.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that what I think is funny is that like clearly this person has experienced versions of this so many times that there's like a bemused chill,
Yes.
like meaning I would be like stressed out, like oh we gotta fix this, we gotta address this, like I want to like make sure like this person is taken care of in the right way, and also like but the customers are taken care of, but also like it's on me to figure it out. Like I would stress out in that way.
It sounds because of you said how neurotic you said you were. You would be kind of more surrounding this person. I think I would too. It also sounds like this person has dealt with, you know, considering the nickname of how many unhoused homeless people go into this is just another day in the office. The other day in the depot. You know what's funny about Homeless Depot? I don't, when I think of homeless or Home Depot, I don't think of homeless people there. I think of actually my friend who works there who says that everybody's just having sex with each other there. They bang.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the Trader Joe's of Home Improvement.
They
really?
actually are like constantly fucking each other into the fact of like they're cheating on each other's wives and husbands. And it's like more of like
specifically the staff.
The staff, like it's like you go there to build a home, but actually they're actually home wrecking
to
a
fill,
home.
or to procreate and fill up that home.
They're building a home, but then they're also home wreckers there too.
Yes.
Like that's what I think of a Home Depot.
Yeah.
They're Ho Depots is what I've heard. So you know, maybe he just got, you know, a curse with the wrong kind.
I think he's in a not horny Home Depot is the issue. That's really funny because when I walk in a Home Depot, I'm not like, I mean, no shade to Home Depot employees, but I'm never like, damn, I want to bang all these people. I sometimes actually do
something
feel
about the apron. I don't know.
It's the apron, really, what it is. Except what I do think in the Trader Joe's sometimes I'm like, damn, these people are fine as hell.
It's the Hawaiian shirts definitely give off swinger vibes.
You know
that's
what it is.
Yeah,
it really is what it is.
It's a 70s fondue swinger vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have like the X-ray apron of the of the Home Depot. Instead, it's like, hey,
we're saying,
have a Mai Tai.
Let's throw your keys in a bowl. Let's see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of see what's going to happen, this has been an amazing thing that has happened today. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh my God, Adam, thank you. This was great.
Been amazing. So
I can't believe I didn't know about King Charles the dog until this very moment.
Hey, welcome to the world of King Charles.
Yeah, and also when this podcast is released, people will be like, "That who was that?" Oh yeah, 3 seasons of that reality show already ended. We're on the next thing.
Tyrant has taken over the yard, and who cares about King Charles anymore? But thank you so much for coming on the show. Real quick before we end, let's give another quick pitch. For your show. Again, this is coming out on June 16th.
Yeah. Yes. So the run, my Hollywood Fringe run, is already happening.
Yes.
It's a show called Woody Foo, One-Man John Wick. I play Keanu Reeves. The nicest guy in Hollywood needs the audience to create the most violent film ever made.
Loved it. Love it. Everybody go check it out. So dang fun. Please check out my show, Macias, where I attempt to clean up.
Elevator pitch.
Is where I talk about my Macias life and how I try to clean it up, including the one time I met Elon Musk on the same day I spread my dad's ashes. Wild day. Fun times. Please go check it out. Gosh, the run has been amazing. I'm just gonna say that now. But yes,
The run will have been amazing.
it's been so dang fun, and I loved singing that goddamn swearing song so damn much. Fuck you, haters, for not telling me not to do it. Anyways,
Yes, honestly, when you do that song and you get the applause break at the end, really bask in it.
it's just like yes,
You really did earn
told
that
you.
applause.
Yes, and same thing with the lights on your
Oh my
your
God.
car.
That was good.
Just what? Yeah. No, I'm
Wow, the lights turned on.
sick car, dude. Is that a Beamer?
No one would ever say it. People would just be like, "Hmm."
No, the car, it gets such a big laugh. It's gonna be so worth it. I will say. But let's go ahead and end the show like we always do, Woody.
Yes.
We're gonna look down the barrel of that camera right
Hero,
there
yes,
and
hero
say that was wild. You ready? On the
Yes.
count of 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
That was wild.